But well, welcome back here to Subiaco Oval to the State of Origin Carnival and the half-time scores. South Australia 15-7, 97, leading Victoria 12-17, 89. And we welcome now ADS 7 in South Australia, HSV 7 in Victoria, and TVT 6 in Tasmania. And a great quarter of football in the second half. Something like, what, how many goals scored,
16,
Frank?
Bob.
16 goals scored in that second quarter. And Kevin Murray, a great comeback by South Australia.
Yes, a great comeback. They kicked 11 goals, 5, and it was a chap called Peter Carey that started them going. He used the ball well, and Blight and Corns. And Corns was an exciting player in that quarter, and South Australia are full of running. Victoria have to improve quite a lot because their players are not handling the ball as cleanly, and they're not using it the way that they normally do.
Frank, do you think Victoria are going to throw everything in? They've got the breeze in this quarter.
Well, Victoria handled the ball a lot. I thought they played a lot of pretty football and not a lot of desperate football in the first half. And I think if they start to turn the key the other way, we're going to get a much better game of football on our hands than what we've already had in this first half of the game. But full credit to South Australia. I maintain that their tackling was strong. They had that desire to gain possession of the ball, and they were direct in their methods towards full forward. Victoria, on the other hand, fiddled around with possession of the ball, and when they did get it, a guy like Raines ran into an open goal 4 times and kicked 4 points, and that's disastrous in a game such as this.
Those comments from Frank Sparrow, former captain of WA. And Raines has had 13 kicks, Corns 14 and Turner 12 as the third quarter gets underway with Victoria kicking with the breeze. And the first kick is going the way of Peter Carey, who did a lot of damage early in that second quarter. He goes wide towards Hodgman. He's a pretty good rover, this fellow, and he takes the mark left half forward flank. Not much of him, but plenty of pace. Kim Hodgman gone for the short pass. Oh, right in front of umpire Capes, and Graham Corns, who's played a pretty good game, won the Simpson medal over here in July, and certainly been a great player today. He'd be 45 metres out and the angle about 45 degrees. There he is, the South Australian and Glenelg player. Kicking against a light breeze up there at the moment. South Australia won't make the distance. The back of the pack, it's a mark. Billy Picken. No, Gary Dempsey. And away they go again, out towards Gary Foles, who kicks it wide out towards the flank, looking for Schimmelbusch. And the skipper takes a mark. He's at half-back.
Well, Schimmelbusch now on the right half-back flank outer side of the ground. Going down right in front of the scoreboard now. A chance for Cloak, and looks like a bit of interference. Umpire says play on. Carey with the ball. Left half forward flank, Jonas, chance. Schimmelbusch leads in the race to the ball to Dool. Dool forced to hand pass very hurriedly and inaccurately. It's Hodgman who gains it. Jonas now accepts the pass, drives South Australia up towards full forward, and Bennett has taken the mark. Well, he's been a good player in that forward line there for Bennett so far in this game today for South Australia. Has already kicked 4 goals and has a chance now to increase South Australia's lead. Bennett, who played very effectively in an earlier interstate match against Western Australia, moves in. It's not a good-looking kick, not a good kick at all, and that registers 1 point only. So we're at the 3-minute mark in this third quarter of play, with South Australia moving on the board to 15 goals 8, Victoria 12-17, and Moore brings the ball into play. Goodness me, it was short, picked up by Corns, snaps towards full forward, and another point results. Well, scoreboard attended having to work a bit of overtime. South Australia 15-9, Victoria 12-17.
Kelvin Moore to put the ball back into play again, and a lot of opportunities missed there by South Australia in these opening minutes. Kelvin Moore going right down the centre of the breeze, and that's the way to kick it, right down to the square. And a beautiful mark to Jonas. He's a high flyer, this fellow, and got plenty of pace. Puts it back towards full forward, and there it is. Another lost opportunity, 1 point.
I noticed Victoria carrying on then. Gary Dempsey may have been interfered with, but the umpire had paid the mark. Dempsey let the player run off instead of tackling him. They've got to concentrate more on the game.
South Australia kicking towards the Subiaco end, towards a big stand here at Subiaco Oval against a light breeze. Billy Picken puts it out to Tuck. He's in the centre. Down towards Bartlett. Dumped away from Kevin Bartlett. Oh, well backed up by Kevin Bartlett again. Gets it further afield. Looking for Wilson, and great mark, Gary Wilson. There's a Victorian rover there, anticipating well. Played 170 games for Fitzroy, and certainly been a great player over a number of years. 45 metres out and practically in front. And Victoria need a goal now to lift them with this breeze. Breeze blowing over his right shoulder. Gary Wilson, a flat punt towards full forward. It won't make the distance. Has it been touched? It has. And forced through once more. So that's 3 points in the opening minutes of this third quarter.
Well, Sorrell to bring the ball into play now for South Australia. Left half-back flank, Flower, and Flower has marked for Victoria. Been a good player in this game so far and taken on there by the bulk of Carey. But Flower equal to the task. Just forward of the right half-forward flank will no doubt drive deep. And there goes the kick, right into the square. Moore and Cloak knocked away by South Australia. Blight with the ball, and South Australia out of trouble from the boot of Malcolm Blight. Turner leading in the race for Victoria. Gains possession now, well shepherded by a teammate in Irwin. Kicks to centre half forward. Cloak. Flyer was Templeton. The ball on the ground to Hodgman. Over towards a teammate. Picked up now by James. James, a hand pass over towards Phillips. Phillips kicks South Australia then to the right half-forward flank. Graham a chance. Coming across now is Foles. Gains possession onto the left boot towards the left centre wing where Blight is into the air to mark for South Australia. Gee, looked as if he went to play on. And there's an old dog for a hard road. Malcolm Blight sees a short lead in the centre. He puts Hodgman under the pump a little bit there, but Hodgman hand passes to Klomp. Klomp the centre half-forward. Peckin, good mark in defence for Victoria. 15-10 South Australia. Victoria 12-18, 5-minute mark in the third quarter of play as Peckin now with a hand pass and finds Nankervis.
Nankervis back further field, and away go Victoria through Dunstan. Dempsey in the centre. South Australia tackling hard up towards Wilson. Thumped away. Warwick Irwin shovels it out to Bartlett. He's about 20 metres out on that left foot. Screws it in with a kick. Well done, Kevin Bartlett. Oh, it's hit the post. Well, you saw our cameras right behind that. And it went right in, and Kevin Bartlett riding it every inch of the way and hit the post. A great snap. And there's a kick into play now. South Australia going right up the centre at the moment. That's a good kick right in there in the centre to Bruce Lindsay. He puts it further field, and Pickett in front once more takes him out. Coming into his own now, still playing on Rick Davies, who's playing at centre half forward. Back to centre half forward for Victoria. Templeton threw the ball away, is holding the ball, and the kick go once more to Phillips of South Australia.
Phillips sees the lead from Carey on the left centre wing, taken on by Flower. The ball to the ground, picked up quickly by Ebert. Over there towards a teammate in Fry. Oh, loose is Jonas. That's bad defence. Victoria. Jonas short and finds Hodgman. Well, South Australia set up the loose man. We'll see what Hodgman will do with the ball now. It'd be about 50 metres, 55 metres out from goal. Flower racing down the ground, trying to get on an immediate opponent. But Hodgman's going to kick long. High kick up towards full forward. A beautiful kick from the South Australian rover, but not accurate enough. It's 1 point only. South Australia moved to 15 goals 11. Victoria 12 goals 19. 7-minute mark in this third quarter.
And Bree's pretty tricky up there as Kelvin Moore comes once more straight down the centre, looking for Dempsey. Over the back of the pack is a good mark to Phillips. He's playing pretty strongly, this fellow. Boots it back towards forwards, floating goalwards. It's a good kick from the boot of Phillips, and the 16th goal of South Australia.
G'day.
There's Robert Klump, and he recovers well. Gets it out to Lindsay, who's had a very good day. Out towards the flank there, the far side of the ground. And once more, South Australia get out of trouble. A lot of players going for that there, but Ebert finally comes up with the ball. Puts it in towards the centre. Morris, oh, can't handle it. Turner can. No, he can't. And it's kicked out of his hands, and Michael Turner will take the kick.
Well, we'll see what Turner will do with the ball. Hand passes on to Bartlett in the centre. Bartlett drives wide. Wilson a chance, taken on very quickly here by Taylor. The ball out wide. Schimmelbusch under pressure. Umpire says play on. Tuck with the ball. Here's Bartlett loose again at centre half forward, and he's marked very easily indeed. Well, Bartlett it looks like he's trying to con the umpire into a 15-metre penalty, but Capes won't have any of that. Bartlett now drives deep towards the edge of the square. The big fella's set. Chance for Blight. Comes away in defence now for South Australia. Up towards the left half-back flank. Kick short. Looks for a teammate over there in Fry, but the ball is out of bounds. Right half-forward flank for Victoria. Attacking with the breeze. Moore on the ball, opposed by Carey. It's Carey who taps. A chance up towards the left centre wing outer side. Dempsey a kick behind the play to gain possession. Victoria back into attack again and have found Bartlett midway between the right half forward flank and right full forward pocket outer side of the ground. Bartlett looking for leads. None offering. Terrible kick from the Victorian rover. Out of bounds on the full, and the kick will be taken back into play now by Sorrell of South Australia. Drive it towards the negative side. That's the left half back flank. Good kick from the South Australian player. Dempsey into the air. Umpire blows the whistle, and Dempsey to take the free kick. Been a lot of niggling going on between both Dempsey and Carey, and it's in favour of Victoria on this occasion. Picken downfield, drives Victoria up to centre half forward. Cloak on the run. Chance kicks hurriedly towards the right full forward pocket, and the ball knocked away in defence by South Australia's Lindsay. Wait on a throw in about 25 metres around from the behind post in the right full forward pocket.
There's plenty of courage from Bruce Lindsay to put that one out. Moore's there surrounded by South Australian players. Blight's trying to get his foot to the ball. Out it goes towards Schimmelbusch. Right full forward pocket. Gets it back towards full forward. Templeton high in the air and taking the mark. Kelvin Templeton led Sorrell a merry dance in the first quarter. He has kicked 2 and would only be 15 metres out right in front, and Victoria certainly need this one. They trail by 16 points at the moment at the 11-minute mark in the second quarter. There's a study of the Victorian full forward. Makes no mistake with this one, and the 13th goal on the board to the Vicks.
Even though Wayne Schimmelbusch was under a lot of pressure, he still tried to get that ball back to the centre of the goal area, and Kelvin Templeton, even though he was outnumbered by the South Australians, took a fine mark and put through a valuable goal to Victoria. Victoria not looking good though, Frank. They're making too many errors. I don't think enough of them are going hard and desperate like the South Australians are.
No, there's not the purpose in their play at this stage. We see both Carey and Dempsey. Carey uses strength, knocks to Ebert. South Australia up towards full forward. A chance now, and it looks like it could be Bennett who's marked in that full forward position there for South Australia, and very good use of the body against his opponent there in Folds, and he is marked for South Australia. Well, he's already kicked 4. South Australia have 4 from Bennett, 3 from Blight, 2 from Graham, and 1 goal apiece to Davies, Morris. As Bennett kicks, is it accurate? It's offline for 1 point. South Australia becoming slightly inaccurate, moved to 16 goals 12, Victoria 13 goals 19 at the 12-minute mark in this third quarter. Moore to bring the ball in now for Victoria. Coming out towards the left half-back flank. Moore, Picken, chance for Davies of South Australia. Picken claims holding the ball, umpire says play on. Then interference takes place, and it'll be Gallagher of South Australia to take the kick.
Gallagher taking it just on that half-forward flank. Gone for the long kick in towards full forward. Nobody home for South Australia, and Kelvin Moore takes the mark. Oh, a shocking kick from Moore. Into the arms of Ebert. He's at half forward. Bartlett chips in. So does Corns. Goes straight through. Well done, Graham Corns. Davies to Carey. He's at half forward. He boots along one towards full forward. Oh, and there he is, Malcolm Blight. The sure hands of Malcolm Blight, and certainly a favourite with the crowd here. They all remember that Brownlow medal that he won in 78, of course, and his McGarry medal in 72. And now the famous North Melbourne player from 20 metres out to have a shot and put South Australia further afield.
Oh, what are you doing?
Study of concentration there from the brilliant player. And South Australians happy with this one as he splits the centre, and the 17th goal on the board to South Australia.
Well, Victoria pretty desperate at this stage. We're coming up to the 14-minute mark, and they're not playing impressive football to overtake that 17-point deficit that they have. In towards centre half forward, Templeton before acceptances. Nearly pulled it. Oh dear, that was a quick one out there by Carey. Play on, says the umpire. Hodgman with the ball. Flower drawn into the play. The hand pass then quickly over to Fry. Fry to Hodgman. Hodgman then to Ebert. Ebert across into the centre where Corns is loose. South Australia retaining possession of the ball, but by gee, that was bad by Corns. Good from Hodgman. Picked up by Morris on the run. Long kick towards full forward, over the line on the full. But South Australia created the loose man, and they were running Victoria ragged on that occasion, and Victoria had no answer at that stage. Moore to bring the ball back in. Right half-back flank has found Wilson. Wilson then drives Victoria to the right centre wing. Clomp a chance, taken on by Schimmelbusch. Crumbs to Flower. Hand pass quickly over there towards Tuck. Right half forward flank finds Bartlett. Bartlett now as Schimmelbusch charges downfield. The hand pass is not good. He's taken on very quickly there by Sorrell. Goes around that player. Players are loose.
Brilliant.
Cloak and Irwin. Cloak takes the mark, plays on quickly and brings up a goal to Victoria.
That was the only place Wayne Schimmelbusch had to kick it, right in front of the goals, because he had 3 Victorians waiting there, and he used his experience and his teamwork to use the ball well, and badly needed goal to Victoria. Let's see if they can get started now.
17-12, 114 South Australia. 14-19, 103 Victoria, in the class of Wayne Schimmelbusch there as he followed that ball through and certainly put it into Cloak to score the goal. 15-minute mark, third quarter. And not a very great deal of breeze at the moment. Still blowing a little bit towards the left of the screen. Carey in there battling. Takes it out of the pack. Ebert finally boots it up towards half forward. Gallagher underneath it and takes the mark. Phil Gallagher at half forward. Looks for the lead further field of Blight. Blight's got it in the pocket. Always plenty of time to kick this fellow. He's put it under the left foot, but he's put it through for 1 point only, and certainly a very elusive player up there in that full forward position.
I reckon, Bob, that South Australia are exploiting more from the point of view of having a guy that leads away from him very fast, and he's got trouble trying to catch a bloke like that.
Yes, they certainly did it well, Frank. Here's Michael Tuck, left centre wing. It's a long kick towards half forward, and that's the way to kick them. Templeton in front. He paid the mark. No, deserved the mark, that one. Taylor gets it. Further field it goes. South Australia get out of trouble through James towards Carey. He's been a good interchange player, this fellow. Over to Corns. He's at half forward. Oh, a grubber kick from Corns. Gets a desired effect towards full forward. And umpire Capes. He's going to bounce it down about 15 metres out from the South Australian goal. Plenty of pressure on in this third quarter. Right, Kona came through, holding the ball, says the umpire.
Oh dear, Blight and Picken, did you notice that?
And the kick going to Picken.
Well, Bill Picken with it, and Blight comes out of that bit of a contest limping there as if he might have got twisted his ankle. Anyway, Picken towards centre half back. Oh, Nankervis not paid the mark. Ball on the ground, knocked away by Rains. Schimmelbusch over towards Nankervis. Oh, put under the pump. Umpire says too high, and Nankervis will take the free kick. Well, South Australia very, very desperate. They're making Victoria earn every kick and applying pressure. Not a good kick from Nankervis. Rains, courage. Should have got a kick. Did get a kick from the umpire as Corns came in pretty strong and tackled pretty high. Well, Rains was going at full bore on that occasion, and Corns possibly didn't have much option, really, but we'll see what'll happen. 17-13 South Australia, 14-19 Victoria. Towards the left centre wing, Turner a chance, taken on by Morris. Strong tackle, Irwin overruns the ball for Victoria. Turner back in, beautiful one-handed pickup. The pass is on over now towards Wilson. Goes around Lindsay, steadies, kicks towards full forward, and up comes a goal to Victoria, and a very handy one indeed.
Great piece of play then.
The Corns. In everything at the moment, this fella puts it in towards half forward. And umpire Phillips has seen a kick. And it comes to Bill Picken. A little bit of pushing and shoving up there, and Bill Picken welcomes the kick at centre half back and wastes no time. Puts it out towards the flea once more, Gary Wilson. Beautiful left foot pass in towards Bartlett. Taylor's with him. He's got the height advantage. Michael Taylor, well picked up by Irwin. Puts it out to Schimmelbusch. He's only 20 metres out. Well done, Wayne Schimmelbusch. Dempsey, no trouble at all. Boots it over the fence. And the 16th goal on the board to Victoria, and they're coming back.
Good piece of play then by Warwick Irwin. He battled hard and threaded his way through a lot of tough South Australian players there, and Schimmelbusch drew the South Australian player towards him, handballed over his head, and quite an easy goal to Dempsey, but Victoria are looking a little bit better at this stage.
Well, notice that Cloak is back in the centre now for the bounce down. Dempsey having a rest in the forward area. So we'll see how Carey and Cloak battle. It looks like being a strength duel. The ball picked up by Wilson. Oh, a bit of shepherding going on, a bit of vigour in the centre as Wilson bursts out. Victoria look better now as Templeton on the lead has taken the mark. Up towards centre half forward. Victoria give the impression at this stage, Bob, that they're just like a racehorse with the jockeys just giving them a cut with a whip.
Yes, a little bit of breeze behind them. They're coming back, Frank.
Righto, Templeton about 60 metres out. The kick is up towards full forward. But the ball offline for 1 point only. So it is a point the difference now in favour of Victoria. They've moved on the board to 16 goals 20. South Australia 17-13 at the 20-minute mark. The ball driven into play by Taylor now of South Australia. Out to the left half-back flank. Klomp with the ball. South Australia from his boot up towards the left centre wing. Picken having a great quarter this quarter for Victoria. Comes through strongly. Back to centre half forward. And Bartlett has marked the ball. Well, Picken really making his presence felt at centre half back and has been the real rebound player for Victoria in this quarter.
This is a player that's making his presence felt now too.
Yeah, he's kicked two. This would be a handy one if he could put this one through, Bob. Distance shouldn't be beyond him, but it's right at the edge of the square. The marking duel, Dempsey. Well, if he's not paid to mark, he should get a free kick, and the umpire has ruled in Dempsey's favour. Well, he was between two big fellas there in Carey and Button, and Bobby had to do something.
I think Carey is a bit ambitious trying to mark behind Dempsey.
Was he ever? Well, there you are. Dempsey's kicked his second goal in 2 minutes, and Victoria now have gone to a 7-point advantage.
Kevin Bartlett's the player in the forward line that is giving them a bit of life. During this quarter, he's taken possession of the ball on a lot of occasions. I thought then he was a little bit far out from goal to kick it, but at least Dempsey put his body in and got a valuable free kick and a goal for Victoria.
Yes, Victoria now in front, 17-20, 122 to 17-13, 115 by South Australia. Kevin Bartlett. This is the 15th appearance in interstate for Victoria. Great record and 318 games for Richmond. So he's certainly been a great player over a number of years.
Bob, 16 goals in the second quarter, and they've already kicked 10 in this quarter.
Yes, it's a great game of football, and the crowd loving every minute of it, Frank, as it goes from end to end. And there's Warwick Irwin taking the ball out of the centre, driving a 60-metre kick with the breeze towards full forward, but Carey's underneath it and takes the mark. This is a fellow that sparks South Australia off in the first 5 minutes of the third quarter. He puts it further field out there to Eddie Fry, an interchange player. He takes a mark at half-back, puts it to Morris. Morris just gets there in front of Turner. Didn't make much distance, about 12 metres, I'd say, and he's on the half-back flank, member stand side. Kicking into the breeze, South Australia at the moment, Michael Tuck. Boots a long one, back in the region of Templeton. Can't mark it. With him is Sorrell, and well done, Sorrell. Gives it to Klomp. Oh, it's a shocking kick. Klomp makes ground. Oh, gives it to Corns, well backed up by Graham Corns. Bill Picken once more having a great quarter, this fellow. Then Curvis, centre of the ground and a long kick, puts him out of trouble towards Wilson.
Well, Wilson's got the run of the ball on the outer side of the ground, but allows Bartlett to take it. Bartlett drew his opponent. Wilson's got the ball now. Plenty of time to do with it, and then he gives it back to Bartlett. Bartlett comes onto the left boot. High kick into the square. Big fellas Dempsey and Carey. Neither can mark, and the ball through for 1 point. Victoria move on the scoreboard now to 17 goals 21. South Australia 17 goals 13. 8 points the difference. The ball coming into play from the boot of Sorrell. South Australia towards the left half-back flank, and a great mark by Corns. Gee got the ride right over the top of the Victorian player there in Schimmelbusch and took a grand mark. From his boot, South Australia go to the left centre wing. Big pack. The mark is claimed by Picken, and the umpire agrees with him. Crowd don't. But Picken, what a great third quarter as we come up to the 24-minute mark. Picken now boots Victoria towards centre half forward, off hands. A chance for Wilson. Oh dear, taken on by Button. Ball to the ground. Flower coming in strongly for Victoria. Close to the boundary line. Fry a chance. Finally the ball comes over towards South Australia's Gallagher. Button with the ball up towards left half forward flank where Graham. Taken on by Dunstan. Bit of pace on being applied here. Oh, good pick up, Graham. Still shows plenty of pace as he forces the ball in front of him, but Dunstan equal to the task, and good defensive play by the Victorian defender. The ball out of bounds, and a throw-in to take place on the left half-back flank.
Yes, a great duel between those two, and that typifies the game here this afternoon. Players throwing themselves, and there's a mighty hit out, and it's gone out of play.
Not a bad move putting Cloak up on the ball, Kevin.
I was just going to say that to you, Frank. Cloak's added strength and using his body well in this area, and South Australia had control of the ruck before he went there.
Well, he's certainly a big enough player and certainly making his presence felt at the moment. There is the half-forward flank. There he comes again, Kevin Bartlett. Put a spell on the bench, come back.
Oh, it's a nice
little how do you do behind the play, but play still goes on. The umpire is now pulling the game up. No, he's not. He's letting it go as Klomp takes it at half-forward. Boots it in towards full forward. A chance for Hodgman. With him is Nan Curvis. Oh, well played, Hodgman. Pushed the ball away in front of him and must get the kick. A little fight that was behind the play is now broken up. And here he is, that Small rover with plenty of heart. Kevin Murray's pointing to a lead, but they've all been covered now. The kick from Hodgman won't get the distance. Into the square it goes. It's a mark to Jonas, I think it is. Peter Jonas. Well, there he is. Likely looking player, this. Half-forward flanker. Bushy-haired fellow, but plenty of pace and a great pair of hands. 12 metres out directly in front. And this could bring South Australia within 2 points if he can kick a major. Peter Jonas. Oh, he snuck it in, he has. And 4 points to South Australia, 18 goals at the 25-minute mark. Kevin.
G'day.
Anticipates. Back towards centre half forward and Moore to take the mark for Victoria. Yeah, I thought the umpire's whistle took a long time to get blown then, but it was definitely a mark to Peter Moore. Lead on from Templeton. Kicks it into an open space. Templeton comes to the ball but didn't bend. Picked up in defence there by Sorrell of South Australia. Hand passes to the ever-alert Hodgman. Kicks short up towards centre half back and has found a teammate in Phillips. Phillips looking for leads. Not many offering. Decides to go wide towards the left centre wing. Davies comes downfield. A chance for Flower. Chance for Gallagher. Good football, South Australia. Has found Jonas. Jonas hand passes to Bennett. He's in trouble. Tries to get it to Davies. Overdoing the hand passing, South Australia. But Bennett's good enough to get back into the game. Kick the ball up towards centre half forward. And Graham has taken the mark. Well, midway between centre half forward and full forward, we see the South Australian player in Michael Graham has taken the mark, and already 2 goals to his credit, and could put South Australia back in front in this seesawing game of football here at Subiaco Oval. Would only be about 40 metres out, directly in front. Kick on its way, and straight through the middle it goes for another goal to South Australia.
Andy.
Buying a new suit.
Look at that hook from Blight. It won't make the distance. A great attempt there by Blight. Dill. The very coolness of Dill there. As Victoria get out of trouble now, down towards the flank. Morris here, attended by 2 or 3 Vicks, and the ball's gone out of play. Half-forward flank for South Australia. 4 points of difference with South Australia to use the breeze in the last quarter. Jostling going on. Well done now by Schimmelbusch. Come over onto the other wing, or having a run on the ball, but he certainly lifted them as it goes down towards half-forward. And Carey made the mark, he has. Paul Carey was an interchange player at the start. He came on. He's certainly played well since he's come on the ground. Got the lead from Hodgman out on the far side, and that's the way it goes. And Carey interfered with as he kicked the ball, and Kim Hodgman to take his kick on the outer side half-back flank.
Well, there's no love lost between the big fellas. Here's a chance now for South Australia through Klomp. Ooh, taken on by Rains. The ball on the ground. There's good courage football by Ebert of South Australia. Plenty of determination. Up towards the left half-forward flank. Jonas claims the mark. Umpire says play on. And a bounce down. Oh, you can see how the crowd, they're all South Australia's way at this stage. Cloak taps away. Tuck leading in the race, gains possession. Comes away up towards the right centre wing. Good kick and a good pass has found Bartlett at the right centre wing. 4 points the difference in favour of South Australia. 30-minute mark in this quarter. Flower taken on by Gallagher. Flower in a lot of trouble, not backed up, not being assisted by teammates. Gallagher a chance now for South Australia. Kicks with the left boot. Left centre wing. The ball coming to ground. Flower a chance. Spills it to the deck. Backed up by Peckin. Peckin takes the hand pass. Over the centre of the ground he goes. Into centre half forward. And Wilson has taken the mark for Victoria. Well, this game is seesawing between both sides, and I think that this last quarter that will be coming up shortly will be a survival of the fittest.
Certainly will, Frank, the way they're going.
Well, the distance shouldn't be beyond Wilson. It'll only be about 50 metres out. The kick is on its way, but it's not good enough. It's 1 point only.
20 kicks to Corns out there, 14 to Rains, 17 to Blight, 14 to Hodgman, Ebert and Tuck. So some great kick getters out there.
Yes, South Australia 19-13, and Victoria have moved to 17 goals 22. South Australia, oh dear me, bring the ball into play. Now that wasn't good football at all. South Australian custodian holding his head in shame. It's over the line on the full and will be kicked back into play by Turner of Victoria. I reckon Turner could kick this from here. He'd only be about 40 metres out. Templeton comes on a lead, but Turner's going back to kick long, and he sets it up, but he doesn't allow for the breeze. You can see the ball drifting away between goal and point post, and yet another point comes on the board as the siren goes for three-quarter time in this game. Three-quarter time scores for you. South Australia lead by 2 points, 19 goals 13, 127. Victoria inaccurate, 17-23, 125.
Earlier on. In he comes.